Right, welcome to 6.3. We're now going to find the midpoint of a line segment. Now, what is a line segment? A line goes on towards infinity in the direction in which the line goes. Right, that's it. So a line just goes on forever. But a line segment just means a part of a line. Okay, so any line drawn on the grid there you see in front of me will be a line segment, but we tend to refer to it as a line anyway in common speech. It says here, question 1. Work out the coordinates of the halfway point between 2, 5 and minus 4, 1. Let's plot some points first. Right, let's work in red. 2, 5. Okay, 2 along. I've got the generic grid I did in the last video. So 2, 5 is there, and minus 4, 1 is there. I've now got to work out the point that's right between the two. Let me just join them with a line, a bit like that will help us to see what's going on. And I'll plant it right there. Right, I can see visibly that the midpoint is right there. So I'm going to label it as such. Let's just highlight it in green or something. I can see that that is the midpoint. I don't know if you can see that. I think I'll draw a little arrow in red. That little arrow, that's me trying to point to the fact that that is the midpoint. I'll label the word midpoint, or whatever the book called it halfway between. Now, midpoint is what we want. That's what the examiners call it. That's what we're going to call it. So that is the point 2, 5, the coordinate 2, 5. That is the point minus 4, 1. And let's make it look a little bit more like a 1. And I can see that that midpoint there is minus 1, 3. So minus 1, 3. Alright, so minus 1 along the x-axis, up 3 on the y-axis. Okay, I can do that visibly. Now, suppose you don't have access to a grid in the exam, or you're not provided with one. How can we calculate that midpoint? Right, it's possible to calculate the midpoint by averaging out the x value from each coordinate and averaging out the y value of each coordinate. So let's just do the x's first up here. So what have I got? This is my average x value. Minus 4 plus 2 divided by 2. What does that give us? Minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. Then divide by 2. So minus 2 divided by 2 is minus 1. Alright, so that's that bit done. Let's make the y stand out over here. I'm not actually working down here because it's significant. It's just that's where the space is. The y part is going to be 1 plus 5. Average it out, divide by 2. 1 plus 5 is 6, then divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now combining all these two wonderful things together, the x value is minus 1, the y value is minus 3, so the midpoint is going to be x value is minus 1, y value is 3, and there it is, minus 1, 3. It's just how it appears on the picture there. We can see visually that between that point and that point we've got minus 1, 3. We've also done it by calculation. Remember, you find the mean of the x parts of the coordinates and you find the mean or average of the y part of the coordinates. So you go minus 1, 3, and there it is. It will be right every single time. I think I'll do another question. I think I've got a grid here. Next door, let's have a look. Yep, that's one I produced earlier. Let's go straight into the calculation, and then we'll plot the line, see if it looks correct anyway. So working in black, what do we got here? A is the point 3 minus 1, so I've got the point 3 minus 1 to worry about, and I've got the point minus 5 minus 5 to worry about. And it says work out the coordinates of the midpoints. They're using the word midpoints by question 3 of the line AB. So that's the point A, that's the point B. I'm not going to plot it, we'll do it later. A and B, then they'll join somehow, and off we go. Let's just work up here. Average out the x coordinates. So I've got 3 from A plus minus 5 divided by 2. Well, 3 and minus 5 comes to minus 2. Minus 2 divided by 2 is minus 1. I'll work on the x in the corner here. Sorry, the y now. I've got minus 1 plus minus 5. Divide that by 2. Minus 1 plus minus 5 is minus 6. Now divide by 2. minus 6 over 2 is going to be minus 3. So I've created the coordinate minus 1, minus 3. Now let's just plot the things, see how they look. A is 3 minus 1, so 3 minus 1 is right there. B is minus 5 minus 5, and that's the line segment. So that's the B and that's the A. Let's just join it in the normal way. Do it in blue. Blue. Right, there's B, there's A, plant it right there. Bit inaccurate, isn't it? That's the software, it's not me. Right, that's the middle, right there. Minus 1, minus 3, yep, that's exactly what we made it, so that's correct. So in calculating the midpoints of a line segment, you work out the average value of the x coordinate and the average value for the y coordinates, and then use that average for the x and the y to plot it. And that's the midpoint, and it's beautiful. I'm not sure there's any point in doing any more of these things. You've got the demo there, and that's straightforward. I might look at the assessor, see what we think about that, but that's done for now.